Good afternoon. I welcome you all to this topic. Today's topic is very interesting. We'll take a look at how entrepreneurs manage their enterprises. So today's topic is about managing the enterprise. The objectives are you need to understand the role of various functional areas of management, what management is all about, and various functional areas of management that you need to take care of in order to establish a new enterprise. You need to identify the importance of various functions like finance, marketing, operations, and human resource functions in managing the enterprise. This is the structure of today's session. We will first take a look into the finance function, then we will discuss the marketing function, the operations functions, and then the human resource function. As I told you, an entrepreneur, in order to run a new venture, has to manage the show as a manager. So he needs to understand what management is all about, and he needs to understand the various functions, business functions, so that he can run the show called the enterprise. So when an entrepreneur starts a business, it is normally a small business. Starting and running a small business is an exciting prospect because it is an opportunity to be your own boss. It is important to realize, however, that being your own boss also creates new challenges, such as having to stand on your own feet and fend for yourself. It is like leaving home for the first time. There are many risks and uncertainties, but also opportunities. Big rewards, a sense of achievement, and peer recognition. The wise entrepreneur should stick to the type of work he or she knows best and choose a field in which he or she is interested. The greater the entrepreneur's enjoyment and passion, the greater the chance of success. Having chosen the right product to sell or service to render, the new entrepreneur needs to acquire another very important ability, namely business management skills. This session talks about the business management skills required to manage a business successfully. Business activities may be divided into various functional areas like finance, marketing, operations, human resource, etc. So this division or categorization creates efficiency in the business activities that the enterprise is doing. It is also noted that the number of functional areas depends on several factors, including the size of business, nature of business, type of market, etc. The finance function plans and obtains funds as per the short and long-term requirements of the enterprise. The obtained fund is invested according to the requirement of the enterprise. Later, the entrepreneur shares the profits with the persons or the agencies which provided the funds to him or her. Entrepreneurs also perform marketing functions to discover the needs of the customer and supply them with the right product and services that meet their needs. One of the major functions performed by entrepreneur is to conduct various operations of the enterprise. In this function, entrepreneurs convert inputs into outputs. In other words, it converts various factors of production into goods and services. Operations manage the production, supply chain, procurement, logistics, etc. of the entrepreneurial business. The human resources department of the enterprise is responsible for recruitment and selection, training and development of the employees working for the enterprise. Lastly, it may be argued that these functions are vital for the proper functioning of the enterprise. Let me give you a perspective of the various business functions just discussed. Every business deals with various business functions. Normally, business consists of 7 functional departments, but that can vary according to the size, all that factors that I just enumerated. Production can be a function, finance, purchasing, marketing, information technology, human resource, public relations, all this can be the business functions in a particular business. Together, these functional departments, functional departments, all the activities performed are to be taken into account. These functions form the guiding principle of this particular session. Each of these functions will be discussed in further detail. In a big business, the functional manager will manage a department. Functional management lies at the level of middle management. A functional manager is responsible for certain departmental functions, for instance, marketing, purchasing, or production. In a small business, the entrepreneur will group some of these activities together and manage them collectively. The entrepreneur will appoint a person or persons to help him or her to manage the other activities. Various functional areas in business, financial management, you'll see it refers to the management of the business's financial activities. The financial functions therefore include all the activities in the business that involve obtaining capital and the efficient use of capital. The financial manager is responsible for controlling all the financial activities in the business. Marketing management. Marketing is the process of transferring goods and services to customers in order to satisfy their needs, as well as the activities that make the transfer possible. Marketing, therefore, entails more than just advertising products and services, as it includes a variety of activities across all functions of the business. Operations management refers to management process used in manufacturing businesses as well as in service businesses. Operation management can be described as those management activities that take place so that products and services can be provided to satisfy the needs of the customer. Personnel management, human resource management, includes all the activities concerned with the procurement, development, compensation, integration, and retention of personnel. General management differs from other functions in that it cannot be placed in a department on its own. General management concerns all the activities that are necessary to the very important task of management at all levels throughout the entire business. We will discuss the different management functions and the different management skills that you need to manage effectively after discussing these functional areas. Purchasing management deals with the acquisition of all the resources that a business needs to achieve its objectives. Public relation management, this is the management function that evaluates public attitudes, promotes the policies and procedures of a business to the public, and plans and executes programs of action to earn public acceptance and understanding. Administrative management, this function is concerned with the service of obtaining, recording, and analyzing information and communicating the results to management, who can then safeguard these assets, promote the activities, and achieve the objectives of the business. Before I can take you to the detailed discussion of the various functions, business functions in an enterprise, let me tell you, there is a thin line of difference between entrepreneurs and manager, and we'll try to find out what these differences are. Entrepreneurs spot opportunities and organize resources to create new businesses. They have the vision, business skills, and courage to take risks and possess the necessary leadership qualities to overcome problems. Entrepreneurs normally have a strong internal focus of control. Their destiny and success are determined by their own actions. Self-confidence, passion, determination, and the management skills to plan and control the entrepreneurial process. So, the entrepreneurs have a strong internal locus of control. They also have self-confidence, passion, determination, and management skills to plan and control the entire entrepreneurial process. The entrepreneur and the business manager could be one and the same person depending on the type of business. In some cases they are, and in some they are not. The entrepreneur's role, however, differs from that of the business manager in that the former manages change by, for example, introducing a new product, buying a new business, deciding which risks to take, introducing new management systems, and moving into new markets. Businesses tend to swing in and out of periods of entrepreneurial change over time, after which periods of consolidation may take place. Business managers have to manage, and management is the process of ensuring that the business achieves its goals and objectives. Business management is essentially the management of a business on a day-to-day basis, which includes activities in various functional areas, as I have already mentioned: marketing, production, finance, and human resources. So the fundamental management activities are nothing but planning, organizing, leading, and control. Planning, adequate planning is needed in the long, medium, and short term. Organizing, it means taking decisions on how to divide up the work that is to be completed. Leading, this involves the effective supervision and motivation of employees. Control, this includes monitoring performance, in other words, comparing what should have been done with what was really done. Corrective action should be considered if a gap is found to exist. There is, however, no doubt that if a business is to be successful, entrepreneurship and good small business management go hand in hand, and the two cannot be divorced from each other. All of you should know that an important focus area of effective management is getting things done through other people, not doing everything yourself, and to ensure that tasks are accomplished and that customers and employees are satisfied. Business management competencies are essential to ensure the success of a business, especially the financial success. The success of any business depends on the individuals involved in the organization. It is a fact that businesses fail mainly because of a lack of management skills, capital marketing, and technical and negotiation skills. The vast majority of businesses initiated by entrepreneurs originate as micro or small businesses. These are usually started and entrepreneurially managed by one person. They can grow and become medium and large businesses, provided that the entrepreneur does not become primarily managerially oriented, but remains entrepreneurially oriented. Effectively, in particular, a manager or supervisor may be appointed to oversee the day-to-day functions in the business. The other important functional areas of a business that require attention are financial, marketing, operations, purchasing, human resources, administrative, public relations, etc. So all the functional areas essential for a successful business, as mentioned above, become more important as the business grows. As an employer, the entrepreneur will still need attend closely to operational matters, but as the business grows, more delegation will be required and people will have to work independently so that the entrepreneur can free up time to attend to the overall performance of the business. The entrepreneur will remain responsible for some of the key areas, such as formulating the business, mission, and key objectives of the business and managing the financial and marketing activities. The other functional areas might be taken care of by other personnel. As the business grows, different specialists need to be appointed to manage its increasing complexities. One important area that an entrepreneur should attend to when the business grows is increasing workforce. This means that the entrepreneur has to know more about the human resource management, its recruitment, training, motivation, team building, and communication, where the personal requirements of the business will have to be correctly be balanced in order to achieve objectives. Leadership skills will have to be honed to solve problems, make decisions, and give the business direction. Other functions, important functions, include the development of an effective marketing and sales team, business structures, financial skills, and improving technical skills. The question of supply chain management is also important and must receive attention from the entrepreneur. All businesses find themselves caught in a supply chain quandary between clients and suppliers. Aspects to be considered are the following: the trade-off between just-in-time supply of stock and the risk of production downtime, and the trade-off between long production runs to reduce unit costs and the risks of increased warehousing and inventory costs. At this stage, it should be clear that while the business is small, the entrepreneur can manage everything on a day-to-day basis without formalized structures. As the business grows, an ad hoc management style needs a more formalized approach to ensure proper planning, leadership, organization, and control. This is where the challenge is. Entrepreneurs are motivated by freedom, opportunities, profits, and risk because they are made that way. On the other hand, managers are motivated by policies, resources, delegation, systems, and security. Henry Ford once said, "It is important to employ people who are smarter than you in every field of your business." The entrepreneur needs to appoint a team of experts so that he or she does not have to do all work and can rely on their expertise to remedy any shortcomings that the entrepreneur may have overlooked. The role and functions of management. In order to understand better the functions of management, we must first remind ourselves of the role of the entrepreneur. The role of the entrepreneur is to utilize scarce resources available and to achieve the objectives of the business through planning, organizing, leading, and controlling to satisfy the needs of the customers. However, the objectives can be achieved only if the entrepreneur is able to make decisions. So decision making is the process of identifying problems, identifying alternative solutions, evaluating the solutions, and then choosing the best one. The solution must then be implemented. This process of identifying the problems, identifying alternative solutions, evaluating the solutions, and then choosing the best one is a series of activities, and that needs to be done well in a systematic manner. The business environment in which businesses operate has to be understood by the entrepreneur before managing the enterprise. The environment in which businesses operate to satisfy human needs is influenced by broader social, political, economic, and technological environments. Public enterprises are funded and managed by government, provincial administrations, or local authorities, and they are not created to make a profit. They are responsible for providing the basic requirements for the efficient functioning of the economy and meeting the needs of society. The business environment can be the micro environment, can be the market-oriented or market-driven environment, or the macro environment. So it should be noted that the three environments are interdependent. A change in the microenvironment may have an influence on the market environment and vice versa. and a change in the macro environment may have a direct or indirect influence on the micro environment. For example, an increase in inflation and a rise in the interest rate will have an influence on the cost of capital and on product prices. So the constant change in the environments is a factor that an entrepreneur should anticipate in the course of all planning that he does. Certain industries are more prone to change. For example, the technological industry is more exposed to change than the mining industry. The complexity of the environment and the industry is also an important aspect for the entrepreneur to bear in mind. A coffee shop is less exposed to complexity and change in the environment than a cell phone shop. So the market environment has the potential to influence to a large degree how a business is managed. This influence is exerted through the behavior of consumers, suppliers, and intermediaries who are all sources of opportunities and threats to the business. The macro environment in which businesses operate is classified according to the 6 variables, namely political, economic, social, technological, physical, and international variables. These sub-environments must be monitored and appropriate responses to them provided. Not only businesses are influenced by these variables, but they are also influenced by each other. For example, if a new political party is elected and the priorities of the new party differ from those of the previous party, this can have a dramatic influence on the socio-economic subsystems in the macro environment. Changes in spending patterns and economic policy can influence the way in which small businesses operate. One result might be greater regulation. Today, entrepreneurs cannot manage effectively based solely on their industrial age business model or on the new internet model. Both are highly applicable today and both must be understood and managed appropriately. The entrepreneur must recognize the new opportunities and threats and resolve them by applying management principles. In this new economy, where strategies, processes, and cultures change continuously, the only key to survival is leadership. Leaders are people who do the right thing, and entrepreneurs are people who do things right. Both roles are crucial and they differ widely. You as an entrepreneur who manage your business must recognize and acknowledge the following key components that reshape the world of this new economy. The rise of new communication technologies, globalization, and the importance of knowledge ideas, the alliance across the business's boundaries. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur and manage a successful business, you must recognize the influence of these key components in your business. So success when starting your business often comes down to an understanding of the finance function, understanding of the risks, developing a realistic plan, managing finances well, and effectively marketing what you've got to sell. So in this particular unit, we will discuss the basic issues of financial management. Financial management, all of you, as you are aware, is the use of financial statements that reflect the financial position of a business with the objective of identifying its relative strengths and weaknesses. This process allows the user of these statements to plan and forecast future financial performance for capital needs, balance sheet requirements such as non-current assets and current assets, as well as planning for a good return on what the owner of the business has invested. Financial management is in the small business is characterized by different problems and opportunities from those that face a large company. One difference is that the majority of the small businesses do not normally have the opportunity to sell their shares to the public, or for that matter, to issue bonds in order to raise capital. Bonds are debt instruments sold by a company to investors. These investors hold these instruments for long periods of say 5 to 20 years in exchange for interest on a regular basis and the repayment of the principal amount at maturity. So financial management in the small business is characterized by different problems and opportunities from those that face a large company. As I told you, one difference is that the majority of the small businesses do not normally have the opportunity to sell their shares to the public, or for that matter, to issue bonds in order to raise capital. Bonds, as I told you earlier also, that they are debt instruments sold by a company to investors. Other forms of financing the small business are lease financing, hire purchase agreements, installment sale agreements, personal equity, and personal loans from the owner, friends and relatives. A small business therefore faces a much more severely restricted set of financing alternatives than those available to the large corporation. On the other hand, many financial problems facing the small business are very similar to those of larger corporations. For example, when purchasing heavy machinery or entering into a lease agreement, it is essentially the same process used regardless of the size of the business. Once the decision is made, the financing alternatives available to the business may be radically different, but the decision process will be generally similar. Managing the enterprise finance functions as an entrepreneur has to take three important financial decisions: financing investment and dividend and working capital decision. So the following slides will throw more light on these financial decisions: identification of financial needs and negotiation for funds, and negotiations with the venture capitalists, designing optimal capital structure. So we will take a look into each one of this. Identification of financial needs and negotiation for funds. Financial needs differ from entrepreneur to entrepreneur and enterprise to enterprise. Entrepreneurs, while looking for funds, are expected to answer the following questions. For what purpose do I need money? How much money do I need? Is the cost of debt and equity affordable? What is the goodwill of the enterprise? Can I provide a security or mortgage for the loan? What are the possible sources of finance? Do I need to opt for short-term or long-term financing? Suppose an entrepreneur wishes to take a loan. She or he may compare the interest rates of various agencies and may take the cheapest one. Sometimes a revolving credit facility may be a fitting option for the working capital requirement of the enterprise. An entrepreneur may start a firm and creates a purpose for which she or he needs money. An estimated capital expenditure amount is needed, which may come from equity or debt finance. Entrepreneurs need to look into the cost of financing too, which also depends on a long-term and short-term horizon of investment. This particular slide shows the steps in negotiation with venture capitalists. We have discussed at length in previous sessions about venture capitalists. Entrepreneurs may negotiate with venture capitalists with the help of following steps. You need to, as an entrepreneur, you need to explore the right venture capitalists. You need to mutually negotiate on the enterprise's valuation. You need to sit with the venture capitalist to negotiate on the enterprise's valuation. You need to discuss with the venture capitalists on the amount to be raised and on the terms of funding agreement. Then, using a legal structure, you need to close the deal. So, as I told you, the first step of the negotiation with the venture capitalist starts with this particular activity. Before the actual negotiation, which is to explore the right VC whose objectives are aligned with the entrepreneur's objectives and goals. Secondly, VCs and entrepreneurs then may arrive at a fair valuation of the enterprise. They may also take external help to find a fair valuation of the enterprise. An entrepreneur may insist the VC provide him or her the required amount, but VC may also negotiate the amount before agreeing. Finally, the deal is given a legal structure and is closed. Next is designing optimum capital structure. While managing the finance function, you need to design the optimal capital structure. An optimal capital structure is a debt equity mix or structure of capitalization that maximizes the market value of shares and minimizes the overall cost of capital. So the following factors affect the capital structure. What are they? Profitability is one. Liquidity is the second factor. Third is control. Capital budgeting, sharing profits or dividend payouts, working capital management. We will get on to that. But first, let us take a look into the factors that affect the capital structure. Profitability is the first factor that affects the capital structure. Expected profitability determines the capital structure. An entrepreneur may perform an EBIT/EPS analysis to calculate the EPS's earning per shares for an estimated EBIT with various proposed capital structures. Each capital structure may have a different set of debt equity ratios. Theoretically, a high debt component increases EPS, but profitability affects liquidity position. Liquidity, inclusion of debt in the capital structure, positively affects the profitability, but it increases the fixed financial charges. So the liquidity of the capital structure is also crucial. Liquidity is related to the insolvency of the enterprise. The entrepreneur must try to create a balance between liquidity and profitability. Control. An optimum control structure also warrants control. The entrepreneur may first decide on the extent of the control and then make up of the capitalization. Taking capital budgeting decisions deal with the projects or investments cash inflows and outflows. It aims to measure expected returns from the project. This particular slide shows you the steps in capital budgeting decisions. First, project generation step. Second is project evaluation. Third is project selection. Fourth is project monitoring. So these are the steps to create a capital budget. As the first step in the overall capital budgeting process, proposals or projects needs to be generated. The project may be taken either for expansion or modernization or for adding a new product line or achieving cost reduction. So capital budgeting involves the evaluation of the projects as a measured step. In this step, projects are evaluated for the net benefits that they generate concerning risk. This evaluation is done with the help of some established techniques based on discounted or non-discounted cash flow methods. This can be shown in a figure 10.5, which I'll show you in the next slide. Then projects are selected based on the net benefit that it generates by using any of the above mentioned techniques shown in figure 10.5. The entrepreneur has to continuously monitor the project for the estimated cash flows and compare it with the actual cash flows. So this particular slide shows the various capital budgeting techniques used by entrepreneurs to manage the enterprise's finances. It can either be discounted cash flow methods, which includes NPV method, the IRR method, the profitability index method, or the non-discounted cash flow methods, which includes payback method and the average rate of return method. Sharing profits or dividend payout. An entrepreneur may divide the profits earned to the investors in form of the dividends. Before this division, an entrepreneur may decide upon the payout ratio and frequency of distribution. Dividend decisions are usually taken based on the following issues, like the enterprise policy, availability of investment opportunities, availability of current profits or funds. New entrepreneurs or startups may not think of declaring a dividend in the initial stages and may follow a policy of zero dividend payout. In later stages, the enterprise may put an IPO and then may follow a policy as per the expectations of the public investors. Enterprises can keep either the percentage of earning, percentage to earning, or the total amount of dividend stable. If an entrepreneur thinks that there is ample scope for expansion within the firm, she or he may not declare any dividend and continue to invest in the firm itself and will not pay a dividend for a period of time. At this point, retention of profits would be the best policy. Dividends are normally declared if profits and other funds are available. Entrepreneurs, after carefully thinking, decide the payout ratio, which is a balance between the firm's future investment requirements and the expectations of the finance providers. Next is working capital management. If you see the slide, working capital management is the management of the liquidity position of the enterprise on a short-term basis. It deals with the current assets and liabilities of the enterprise. Current assets are those assets that can be used up or converted into cash within a year. Current liabilities are those liabilities that are due for payment within a year. Examples are presented in the figures shown on the slide. Working capital management deals with the liquidity position of the enterprise. If it is following the net concept of working capital, whereas it takes care of financing issues. If following the gross working capital management deals with the liquidity position of the enterprise, it is following the net concept of working capital, whereas it takes care of financing issues if following the gross concept of working capital. These type of working capital are executed in the next diagram. Take a look, types of working capital, net working capital and gross working capital. Net working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Gross working capital is investment in current assets. So entrepreneurs use working capital to run an enterprise day-to-day operations and meet obligations in a short time. Without enough working capital, he or she cannot pay its employees, suppliers, interest, etc. Entrepreneurs also need working capital to grow, as positive working capital creates eligibility for loans, etc. Next, we'll move on from the financial functions of entrepreneurs to the marketing function to manage enterprise by entrepreneurs. So we can define marketing as the activity or the set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offering that have values for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. We can also define marketing as the process of planning and executing conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. We can simply create a equation for marketing the customer satisfaction plus suppliers profitability is equal to marketing. So entrepreneurs initiate the marketing function with the identification of the needs of the customer, and to do this, information on the customer and the preferences is needed. Marketing research becomes a very important function here. After receiving the needed information, a product or service is developed by the entrepreneur and the team. For this purpose, product designing, durability, quality, cost become important factors. An entrepreneur may use branding and packaging as a pertinent feature for the future success of the product. Branding creates product recognition and improves the goodwill of the product or service. It further creates a separate identity for the product and service. Pricing is always an area of concern for entrepreneurs. Pricing depends on the price of the competitors, market demand, enterprise policy, etc. Apart from this, entrepreneurs make its customer aware of the product. It is done through promotional activities. These activities include advertising, personal selling, publicity, etc. The marketing function also includes the distribution of the product up to the point of consumption. This also includes proper management of inventory and a suitable choice of distribution channel. Transportation and warehousing are another set of activities performed by the entrepreneurs in this function. An entrepreneur is also expected to have a proper and well-defined customer and maintenance service. Marketing research and assessing the consumer needs. Entrepreneurs may conduct a market research to determine the viability of a new service or product. Information may be collected directly from existing or potential customers. In this process, opinions and feedback from consumers are obtained, analyzed, and incorporated into the product or service. Assessment of consumers' needs and preferences is done in the market research. The process of market research involves identification of the problem, market research planning, data collection, data analysis, and reporting of the results and the actions to be taken. Then the entrepreneur may start the action on the decision taken based on the results. Strategies, advertisement campaigns, etc. are designed based on the results of the research done. One point an entrepreneur must not miss is the changing environment of business. Results and strategies may not give desired results if the business environment is changing fast. So choosing a marketing mix for product and service is a priority for the entrepreneur, which is a laid down set of marketing tools and tactics to introduce or promote a product or service in the existing or a new market. With a proper marketing mix, an entrepreneur may position a product or service at the right place, right price, and the right time before the customers. The components of the product marketing mix, which consists of 4 P's, an entrepreneur may plan a marketing strategy based on 4 P's. The number of P's may be increased for service marketing as shown from 4 to 7. Next is developing suitable products. Entrepreneurs may develop a product as per the requirement of the customer. New product management includes the steps of idea generation, idea screening, product development, test marketing, and commercialization. Adopting an apt pricing policy is important for managing the enterprise's marketing function. The pricing process determines what the entrepreneur will receive in exchange for the product supplied by the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs can set the prices of his or her products and services independently. This price may be based on the cost of product, perceived value, its demand, competition, etc., On the other hand, pricing strategy is used to achieve strategic goals of the enterprise, like increasing sales in an area by decreasing the price. The factors affecting pricing decision are shown on the slide. So the cost of the product needs to be included in the policy, apart from perceived value of the product, competition, and demand of the product. Next is developing or adopting suitable channels for distribution. An entrepreneur may adopt a distribution channel to transfer goods and services to the customer. The distribution channel is the chain of intermediaries through which this transfer is done. Channels include wholesalers, retailers, distributors, etc. In direct distribution, the entrepreneurs can directly sell to the customers. Distribution channels, different distribution channels are shown on the screen in figure 10.3. You can find a distribution channel as entrepreneur, wholesaler, retailer to consumer. Another channel can be entrepreneur to retailer to consumer, or if there is disintermediation, from entrepreneur to the consumer directly. So distribution channels provide scope to the entrepreneur to adjust the number of stops before the product reaches the consumer. An effective distribution channel is a requirement for efficient and effective marketing. Selecting the mode of promotion of the products and services is important for every entrepreneur marketing his product or service. An entrepreneur may consider a set of marketing approaches to optimize promotional efforts and inform the target customers about the product and services. Various components of the promotion mix are shown in figure 10.14, like advertisement, direct selling, sales promotion, public relations. In advertisement, non-personal promotion of products and services is done. In direct selling, one-to-one communication between a salesperson and a potential customer happens. In sales promotion, short-term activities to encourage immediate purchase is done. In public relation, promotional method that determines the way people treat the brand. So the entrepreneur's job is to find the right promotion mix for the product. It also can be noted sometimes that product pricing and distribution piece can go waste if the promotion mix isn't properly planned by the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur also manages the enterprise's operation. The entrepreneur uses operation management to maximize efficiency within the organization by administering business issues of the enterprise efficiently. With efficient operations, management organizations capably convert inputs like materials, labor, etc. into outputs in an effective manner. An entrepreneur or operations manager manages various organizations' processes to create equilibrium in revenues and costs, thus achieving optimum profits. Enterprise in this function is involved in the acquisition of materials and effective utilization of labor to create output according to customer expectations. Delivery of goods to customers has emerged as an important area in operations. The slide shows you the foundations of operations management, in which planning, process, efficiency, quality, and profitability are included. So the entrepreneur manages the supply chain process by controlling the inventory's movement, production, sales, and distribution at reasonable prices. Entrepreneurs need to plan the processes, forecast the demand, and optimize resources before delivering a product to the customer. They may follow a repeatedly continuous process of production. The important issue is always the bottlenecks that create inefficiency in the operational process. To maintain maximum efficiency, hindrances must be removed. Another pertinent issue is the maintenance of quality in the production process. Quality can attract and provide satisfaction to the customers. Cost control and profitability also form the foundation for efficient operations management. We have discussed at length for managing enterprise operations, location and layout of the plant is an important feature. A successful entrepreneur understands the plant location and layout, which is pertinent for creating efficiency in the processes. The right location and layout will create sufficient access for the customers and workforce. It would be easier for them to transport inventory and other stuff if the location is feasible. Location often creates a competitive advantage for the entrepreneurs as they may formulate a strategy according to their manufacturing around their manufacturing enterprise. So location choices are for a long time and cannot be changed easily. An erroneously selected location may have continuous operational weakness in the future. The following factors affect the location decisions, like closeness to the raw material source, closeness to market, accessibility of skilled labor, availability of productive resources, environmental conditions, proximity to ancillary or spare parts units. So we have discussed this in detail in earlier sessions also. These factors needs to be considered before choosing a location, while factors which affect the plant layout are management policies, plant location, topography, climatic conditions, size, the flow of work, etc. influence its layout plan. The nature of commodity and process affects the type of layout. Quantum of production may determine the layout of the facility, available space, maintenance of equipment. So all these factors need to be considered before choosing a location, while factors which affect the plant layout has been enumerated before you. Materials management is another aspect in order to manage the entire enterprise's operation. A manufacturer entrepreneur spends a significant portion of his time and money on materials management. A minor saving due to efficient materials management can lessen the manufacturing cost to a significant extent. Production planning and control is also an important aspect of managing an enterprise operations. By using PPC, scheduling of the machine items is possible, which results in optimum utilization of production capacity. So this slide shows the production planning process and the quality control process. Production control helps an entrepreneur to attain an optimal production system to accomplish production targets as laid down in planning. Control facilitates a smooth flow in the overall production process. Finally, in order to manage the enterprise, an entrepreneur needs to manage the enterprise's human resource function. All are expected to perform in order to achieve the common goals and objectives of the enterprise. HR department finds, screens, recruits and trains human resources besides performing several other employee benefit programs in the enterprise. Manpower planning is an important aspect of human resource management. Entrepreneurs do manpower planning, in which she or he essentially works for coordinating, motivating, and controlling the various human resources in the enterprise. Planning is indispensable for the enterprise, without which an organization cannot progress. It matches the supply of qualified manpower to the accessibility of jobs in the enterprise. Now, steps in the manpower planning. You need to evaluate current manpower, forecast manpower needs, frame employment programs. You need to frame training programs. So, evaluate current manpower. Entrepreneurs need to forecast the manpower requirements, but it is essential to assess current manpower first. An entrepreneur must analyze the number of departments and employees working in it. Next is, entrepreneurs must be aware of all the factors that affect the manpower needs. Commonly used manpower forecasting can be done either by doing the workload analysis in the enterprise or by doing trend analysis, or by taking the advice of experts, or by using any mathematical model like regression. Later, the entrepreneur can frame employment programs in which the current status of human resources is compared with the required status. Recruitment, selection, and placement policies and plans are placed in action in this step. Next is training programs are kept to improve the presentation skills of the persons. It also aims to enhance the knowledge and capabilities of the human resource of the enterprise. Recruitment and selection process in HR are integral acts to be performed by the entrepreneur. Recruitment involves creating an inventory or pool of potential candidates and inviting them to apply for a position in the enterprise, whereas the selection process selects the most suitable candidate from the pool. The process involves evaluating hiring requirements, prepare a job description, sourcing the candidates from various sources, evaluating the candidates who applied, then interview, then select the most suitable candidate. Training and development is part of human resource management. For an entrepreneur, training and development of the workforce are very important. It improves the skills, confidence, and efficiency of the employees. It helps in learning new ideas and understanding to advance the performance. Training is a program which upgrades the abilities, skills, knowledge, and competencies of the workforce. Training is given to the employees to bridge the gap between the existing and the expected skills to improve the performance in the enterprise. A development program prepares the workforce to perform a future job. It is learning. It is a learning opportunity for them to get new skills and get ready for the upcoming works and challenges. Motivation and stress management, supervision and control, and ensuring health and safety is also part of the human resource function. Whereas motivation and stress management are continuous processes to be adopted in the enterprise. An entrepreneur may also act as a supervisor in the organization to improve the enterprise's performance. An entrepreneur also has a legal duty and obligation to provide a safe, secure, and healthy environment in the organization and to work towards the welfare of the employees. In summary, in this unit, the focus has been on the entrepreneur as the owner of a business and on the various management tasks associated with running a successful business. We placed emphasis on the business tasks associated with the self-employed entrepreneur and the entrepreneur as an employer. The tasks of self-employed entrepreneurs are based on the personal skills of the entrepreneur, which includes securing work, doing the work, and follow-up payment for completed work. As a business grows bigger and the entrepreneur employs more people, other functions have to be applied, such as general management and other functional areas required to run the business. The focus of this unit was on those functions, and the approach was to provide an insight into how each functional area contributes to the business's success. It should be noted that each of these functions that we discussed today has to be performed by any business to be successful, and each and every one should be attended to. At the start of a business, one or two people may be responsible for all these functions. However, as the business grows, various departments that specialize in one functional area may be created, each with a separate manager in charge. So this unit also discussed the various environments, the business environments like the micro environment, the market environment, and the macro environment in which the business operates. So each of these different environments also influence businesses in various ways, and the entrepreneur needs a good understanding of each in order to make business decisions. So I hope you have understood as an entrepreneur how to manage the enterprise. Thank you.